Do you feel the weight of their gaze on you, the way they look at you, like you're something they must control, something they must tear down? What if I told you your very existence, your mere presence, is the nightmare they fear? They don't need to destroy you with their words or their actions. No, my dear, it's your silence that frightens them. Your refusal to bend, to break, to submit. It's that stillness in your eyes, that unshakable calm that makes them tremble. Every word they throw at you, every attempt to manipulate, every insult they hurt, they expect it to break you. They expect it to shatter your spirit, to make you crumble under the weight of their control. They thrive on chaos, on confusion. It fuels their ego. It makes them feel powerful. But what if you refuse to give them that power? What if you choose to stand your ground, unmoved by their venomous words, unshaken by their manipulations? What if you choose silence instead of retaliation, calm instead of anger? What if you decide not to fight, but to simply walk away? That's when the terror starts, because, you see, you've done something they could never anticipate. You've taken the one thing from them they can't afford to lose: control. And that, my dear, is exactly why they fear you. They thought they could break you. They thought they could bend you to their will, force you into submission, watch you beg and plead for their approval. But instead, you stood there, calm, unshaken, like a stone in the middle of a storm. And that stillness, that's what terrified them. It wasn't the rage they expected. It wasn't the desperation they wanted to see. It wasn't even the tears they hoped to provoke. No, it was your absolute refusal to be moved by their chaos. And that fear, that crippling fear, is what will haunt them long after you're gone. They thrive on your reactions. It's how they control you. It's how they manipulate your every move. But when you refuse to react, when you simply refuse to engage in their twisted games, that's when they lose their grip. It's in your silence, in your indifference, in your refusal to become part of their drama, that you take back your power. You see, they wanted you to fight. They wanted you to scream, to shout, to make a scene. They wanted to provoke you, to drag you into their world of emotional chaos. But instead, you chose something much more powerful. You chose to walk away without a word. You chose to not participate in their destruction. And that, my dear, was the ultimate act of strength. Your indifference wasn't weakness. It wasn't submission. It was your weapon. You didn't need to fight. You didn't need to raise your voice. You didn't need to beg for their attention or their validation. You simply stood there, centered in your own peace, and walked away. And in that silence, you sent a message they couldn't ignore. You are not my master. You will not control me. I choose peace over chaos. And that silence, oh, that silence spoke louder than any words could ever. Because in your indifference, you became something they could never understand. Someone who was not at their mercy. Someone who was untouchable. And that terrified them. You see, the truth is, they can't stand the fact that you have the strength to walk away. They can't bear the thought that you are no longer under their thumb, that you are no longer their victim. They can't handle the fact that you have taken control of your own life, that you no longer need their approval or validation. And now, they sit in the wreckage they've created. They replay every moment in their mind, trying to understand what went wrong. They replay their words, their actions, their manipulations, trying to figure out where they lost you. They wonder, why didn't that hurt? Why didn't they break? But the truth is, they'll never understand. They'll never get it. They thought they could manipulate you, control you, use you as a pawn in their game of dominance. But what they didn't realize is that you were never theirs to control. You were never their plaything. You were always meant to be something greater than their petty games. They replay every moment, every attempt to tear you down, and it only deepens their confusion. Why didn't they beg? Why didn't they scream? Why didn't they fall apart like I wanted them to? They'll never find the answer. Because the answer is this: you are not theirs to break. You are not their puppet. You are a force of nature, a being of strength that they can never touch. Do you understand now? Do you see the power you hold? You may have walked away, but you did so not in defeat, but in strength. It wasn't the fact that you left that broke them. It was the fact that you chose to walk away on your own terms, that you didn't need to fight, scream, or beg for attention. You chose peace. You chose your own life. And that, my dear, is the greatest victory of all. While they sit there stewing in their bitterness, you are out there building the life they could never touch. They thought they could destroy you, but instead they've made themselves irrelevant. They can't reach you anymore. They can't affect you. They can't control you. You've built something for yourself now, something they can never take away. They can keep trying, they can keep plotting, they can keep scheming, but nothing they do will ever bring you back. Nothing they do will ever break you. You've risen above their petty games. You've walked away from their chaos and created your own peace. And in doing so, you've won. You've won in ways they'll never understand. While they waste their time trying to tear you down, you've built a life, your life, and nothing, no matter how hard they try, can ever touch that again. They'll sit there in their bitterness, knowing they've lost. They'll watch as you rise higher, as you thrive, as you grow. They'll wonder what happened. They'll wonder why they couldn't control you, why they couldn't break you. You'll sit there and you'll whine. You'll wonder. But the answer will always be the same. Because you are stronger than their manipulation. You are stronger than their games. You are stronger than their chaos. And now, as they watch from the shadows, they realize the truth they can never deny. You were never theirs to break. You were never theirs to control. You were always meant to rise, to thrive, to become something greater than they could ever imagine. And now, my dear, you are unstoppable. You have broken free. You have taken back your power. And nothing they do will ever change that. You have chosen peace, and that is the greatest victory of all. You have become their worst nightmare, and they'll never be able to escape the fact that they were never strong enough to control you.